Hey, come a little closer to the fire. Get comfortable. Before I get started, go ahead and turn around for me. Take a good look behind you. See that dark opening right there? That's Sand Cave, and that's exactly where Floyd Collins walked into and never walked out. From the outside, this place looked completely harmless. Just a small, unremarkable hole in the hillside. Nothing about this tunnel screamed danger. But this was day one. Floyd Collins crawled into this tunnel alone, with nothing but his lantern, a whistle, and balls of steel. This tunnel stretched 50 feet forward, then corkscrewed downward like a sideways W, dropping 150 feet diagonally into the earth, twisting and turning like the coils of a human intestine. No wider than the size of a coffin, he was crawling out on his belly, head first, when his foot brushed the wrong rock. That rock simply shifted and settled with crushing weight, pinning his left ankle so tight he couldn't move it an inch. Then this tunnel collapsed around him, locking him in place up to his shoulders. He was trapped face up, wedged so tight he couldn't move a muscle. The only thing he could reach was that whistle clenched between his teeth. Ice-cold water dripped from the ceiling directly onto his forehead. Drip, drip, drip. Like Chinese water torture, slowly driving him mad. All night long on that first day, Floyd clenched that whistle between his teeth and blew it desperately, over and over. This was now day 2, when a local man named Jewel Estes, just a young fella from the area, was walking nearby and heard the faint sound of a whistle coming from deep inside this tunnel. He crawled in as far as he could and yelled, "Hey, can you hear me?" Floyd's weak voice came back, "I'm stuck, bad. My leg's pinned." Jewel shouted back, "Hold on, I'm gonna go get help," and ran to sound the alarm. By the end of day 2, word had spread fast. Dozens of men showed up with ropes, lanterns, and picks. They crawled into this narrow tunnel one by one, trying to reach Floyd. But this tunnel was ruthless. Every time someone tried to dig around the rock pinning his leg, this tunnel would start collapsing, nearly burying the rescuers alive along with him. Then Floyd's younger brother Homer arrived. He was skinny enough to crawl all the way down to him. For the next 3 days, this tunnel became a nightmare. When night fell, the other men went home, but Homer refused to leave. He stayed with his brother through the long, cold nights. Homer stretched his arm down the narrow shaft as far as he could, barely reaching Floyd's face. When he couldn't reach, he used a long pole. Despite the tight space, Homer finally found a way to give his brother some relief. He carefully lowered a towel on the end of a pole and gently placed it over Floyd's face, shielding him from the icy water dripping relentlessly from above. Later, using the same long pole, he fed his brother, first some dry crackers, then warm coffee, and finally spoonfuls of soup. It was slow, awkward work in the darkness, but Homer never stopped. Floyd's voice grew weaker and more distant. One night he whispered, "Homer, I don't think I'm getting out of here." Homer's voice cracked as he answered, "Don't talk like that. We're getting you out, Floyd. I swear we're getting you out." Days 7 through 10, that's when things got really bad. The very next morning, when Homer returned to see his brother, he couldn't get through. This tunnel had collapsed again overnight, completely sealing the passage. Floyd was now completely cut off. No more food, no more water, just that endless drip, drip, drip in the darkness. By day 11, hope was fading fast. They began digging a brand new vertical shaft straight down from the surface, trying to reach Floyd from above. Homer was in front, digging like a madman. Every so often they'd stop, lean over the hole, and shout down into this tunnel, "Floyd, we're coming for you! Hang on!" Then they'd go silent, listening. Sometimes they heard his weak voice. Sometimes all they heard was the faint sound of his whistle echoing up from the deep. 17 days. The men finally broke through with the shaft. A reporter was the first to look down. He went completely silent. After a long moment, he whispered, "Oh my God." He's still staring up at us. The freezing water was still dripping, dripping, dripping onto Floyd's open eyes. He had died just hours earlier, trapped 150 feet inside this tunnel. Floyd Collins died in this tunnel after 17 days underground. His story became one of the most haunting rescue attempts in American history. And some say, on quiet nights, if you stand near the entrance of this tunnel and listen carefully, you can still hear it. A faint whistle, echoing from deep inside the darkness, still calling for help, still waiting, never stopping.